batch. The whole idea behind this was crafted by both Geeta Kiran ma'am and Krishna Swami sir, who gave the title Bridging Generations and the Insights, which came out from him. So he is the chief convener of this event and all the connects that they both are getting to our students and allowing them to look how our alumni have grown over the years and how it's an inspiration for them and how best we can learn from them so that
I think you all know about Ella Technologies. So before that, he was in PwC, he was in EY, and he was in Accenture. He was MD of Accenture, and probably, if I'm not wrong, he was one of the youngest MDs in Accenture. So he got into the question pretty early in his career. Then what we thought was, this was like Amrendra sir ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. That was Amrendra said. Unfortunately, he is not there today. Hello, Kelsa idda hodru. I said, fine, we will talk. See, two important points, correct? Many times what happens when we are in college, we stuck to our routine. Now, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ, ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, then valuation ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So we will be in our day-to-day world in the college, correct? So sometimes, at least students get a connect, but lot of staff, they may not be able to really go out and work in industry. I know there are industry connects are happening, but I don't think any professor will go out of the college and work in industry for some time. There are exceptions though. For example, Anand, he was mentoring in event software, but very few people venture out and they also may not get an opportunity to go out. In fact, I was talking to 2-3 alumni who have their own industries, and we are more than happy if anyone of you want to come and work with us for say 1 month, 2 months, to really understand what's happening in the industry and how it is different. So that's where what we thought was, it's not like a monologue, so you can ask any questions to us. By the way, I head the banking product in Infosys, so Vinay is well known in industry. So we are ready to answer any questions, and unfortunately both are in IT field, but it doesn't matter, we can answer most of the industry related questions today with respect to trends and what we look for today's students. That's what Vinay spoke about. Ivattin makkalali ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ what we look for them and how we choose students. Our resume ಬರುತ್ತೆ. How can I know that these three stood out? So ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. So more than that, we wanted to be interactive. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರು, ಏನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿ. We may not have answers to all, but we will try to answer to your questions. I think that will be the format. We just leave it to Vinay to start up on that, then we can make it interactive. Thanks.
This is my turn now. So quite a few would be my batchmates or possibly my junior as well. But then it's my turn now to speak to the professors, and you have to listen. So thanks for the opportunity. My name is Vinay, 1993 graduate, mechanical engineering, and worked for a finance company for about a year, then moved to IT, was in Ashok Leyland Infotech, moved to the US in 96. Was in the US from 96 to 2002, came back to India. In the US I worked for PwC Deloitte, did my MBA from University of Cincinnati, Ohio in operations management, then came back to India in 2002, worked for Accenture, was a managing director with them in 2005, and did a lot of leadership roles in Accenture, then moved to Deloitte as a partner. And today I run sales for India, and I also I'm the chief commercial officer. So that's my background. And was an average student, I would say, but with a lot of things I kind of learned on the way, and then worked out fine. So I can't complain. So I guess I spoke to the students, and kind of they were very good questions that they asked us about, how do they differentiate themselves vis-a-vis their peer, and how do you make a entry into an industry, right? And some very direct questions. We spoke about entrepreneurship and said what is a great opportunity, what's superb time right now for people to get into entrepreneurship. And one kid asked me a question saying that, sir, are you an entrepreneur? So it was like showing the mirror. Instead like, what are you doing? So I had to tell him that I didn't have the guts to be an entrepreneur. But it was a good question someone asked. So I guess just if you can make it interactive, that will be very easy, because I don't need to tell you learned folks about what to talk and what to teach, etc. But there are 2-3 things that I can tell what we look for in students. And let me know if it is useful, and if we can make it interactive, that will be very good use of each other's time. One is the storytelling, right? How are they able to tell their story that they are good in whatever they're doing, or what do they, how are they different from others? They struggle sometimes. So sometimes, most of the time, they struggle to tell that storyline very well. They come with very set mind, or almost always very scared to kind of openly tell what they know, what they don't know, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, etc. So somewhere down the line, if we are able to spend a little more time in their communications, their ability to story tell, if we allow them to kind of stand in front of the students and talk about a topic, which if they are in a position to teach the students after they learn, of course, you can choose. I think it will be a great use for the students if you allow them to present in the class. I'm not sure whether you do it, but if at all, if it can be, you do. Okay, great. So standing in front of the audience and speaking and present, that's great. So if we can kind of bring that and put that as a part of the DNA in our day-to-day teaching, and have them kind of really come up and speak and tell a good story about either a project or either a topic that is of interest, then I think that will be a great use of, that will be very, very useful to the kids, is what I think. Right? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, probably just to add, I'll give a nice real life example with MC itself. I mean, I think you need to listen to this basically. See, from Infosys last year, I don't know, some of you were there. I work in an Infosys subsidiary called Edgeover. So we came here and we had an MOU with the college, where we said we will pick up students from 5th semester itself. So we pick up students in 5th semester and we'll give them a package of 8.5 lakhs, and we will train them for 1 year from Infosys. It's like they had to do their normal course, plus they also had to do a bit more extra. And we also want them to, we want to teach them on software aspects. So, in fact, what was encouraging was our HR person was also from our college. Vijayta is from MC only. She was also very, very positive. Illa college after the tests, I think some test we had around probably more than 70 people cleared the test, which was not easy. Because for example, if you go to any other college, probably the average similar to MC is saying, 30 jana test clear ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. We said we were very happy. Like 75 jana clear ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, at least 25 jana placement ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. But what became shocker was post interviews. It was not like a very, very difficult interview. Very simple questions about, tell me about yourself, why do you want to do this? They could not answer. And we finally made offer to probably some 8 or 10 people max. So rest we could not offer. Then I went back and then said, "Ina offer madilla," because HR is from my college. Then she said, "Kitty, simple questions answer madilla. Technically they were good, but they were not able to express themselves." And in any company, once an interview is done, if somebody says he's rejected, there's no way we can go back, correct? So that also put me to thinking to say, madam, how do you teach them? How do you teach them to express themselves? They know the subject, they know the stuff, they have the answer, but they are not able to communicate that answer. So it is very, very important. From morning when I spoke about that, if there are 10 people, if they send resume, how one resume should stand out? I think we need to encourage our students for this, and we are more than happy to help you folks out from that perspective. Any help which you need from me, we are more than happy to extend, but please encourage them to speak. In fact, today when I encourage them to speak, initially when I said questions came in, I hope you will ask questions. Students, nobody asked any questions. There was actually, probably for 5 minutes, there was absolute silence. So then we encouraged, the one question came, the one question came. In fact, we said, you go and ask question, we get an internship. Then they opened up and they asked beautiful and brilliant questions. Opening up ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ important. That's where I think modern students, you all need to help us because it's our college after all. So if C has to become great again, basically, not America great again, right? It's just a great college and still I think it is. We need to change some of those characteristics of students. So that's where we wanted to talk to you and Amanda sir ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. So we are more than happy if you feel, if you are finding any difficulty, ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಹೇಳೋಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ, I am having this issue, please let us know. We will try to solve it and we will try to get a right resource to help you out in that. So that's all the objective of this session. So who will, the first one? You will. Anything you can ask about industry, not only for that, anything about industry, what's happening.
So problem with the students are no, they are fond of like fantasy world. Okay, ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೋ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಥರ. So even in spite, we tell them, okay, you need not to enter into such fantasy world. A small basic, even a sensor, how it works, what is the signal there, what is going out, if you say so, definitely you will be observed even in spite of your lower CGPA. They don't agree for this. Even they have cleared Q1 paper, Q2 paper, but they fail in getting a job.
I guess that's where we kind of, I was telling, encouraging the students to say that spend some time in storytelling, because end of the day you have to storytell. We as professors or we as whoever we are doing in our day job, we have to storytell because we have to kind of pass on the message and communicate that to the person. So I did encourage them to kind of say that learn to figure out how you are able to tell your story. If you think that you can do all of this, then package it well and show it. How do you do it? Right? That is basically what we also agreed. But there was one question that somebody asked, should I be jack of all or should I go deep into it? And I can't remember who asked that question, but one of the kids asked the question at this age. So the answer was that go a little more deeper into your, as you rightly said, right? At this age you have to go deeper because you have to be known for something. You cannot be known for everything. So if it is a domain, then figure out I'm strong in domain, so I will be able to strengthen my domain knowledge, and hence I will focus on that and known for that. So that's basically what we said. But I completely agree. They tried, it's a misnomer. One of the other things that we also said, and I think it will be useful for you to kind of, all of you to also say is, it's okay to take whatever role that you're being offered. Quite often, most of the kids come back and say, AI, ML, Sigladre, my life is gone. Right? So, we have to kind of keep telling them, saying that it is okay, it doesn't matter, because you start off wherever you start off and then go through the learning curve and you catch up very quickly. So, I think ponding that message again and again, and I think, if, for example, it would be useful, just a thought of just a thought is that if they, as you say, they don't agree to it, then ask them to tell the story in front of the class. You have this brilliant idea about all of this big thing that you are talking about and not getting into the basics. Please explain and help me sell that to me in front of the class. Let them kind of think about and say, are they really deep or not? So that itself will be, kind of forcing them to come out and tell the story will, kind of enable them to think that they actually are living in that fantasy world, as you rightly said.
Actually, you made a very, very good point. If somebody is pulling signals, if understands it well, see, none of the interviews, if somebody asks a question, if he doesn't know, he should have the guts to say, sir, I don't know this, and try to destroy. None of the interviewer will refuse to say that, you ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ನೀವು ಯಾವ subject ಗೊತ್ತು, what you are strong at. I don't think any interview will say, ನಿನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ಹೋಗು ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. So that's where the art is to take them to the place where he is or she is strong about. Almada, then I think it becomes a natural talk, correct? So most of the students, if they don't know the answer, they will not say it. It's very, very important. If somebody says, I don't know, sir, ನನಗೆ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ subject ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾನು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, then they will ask, what are you good at? Then they can say, I'm good at 1, 2, 3. For example, he is good at heat transfer. So we'll tell. So, then it becomes discussion on the strengths, correct? So, like an interview level, like a fresher, nobody rejects anybody because if somebody says, I don't know. And other thing which, if you want to convince students, what I can do is I can get some of my recruitment people, like HR people from various companies. Lot of other lot of ex-MC guys will be in HR of many companies. In fact, Gita madam did an event in Bangalore called HR Synergy. I don't know how many of you came for that event. You ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ? I think you all have to come to those events because the HR Synergy event is more about a lot of HR folks will be in that event. You can ask those questions. Honestly, I tell you, nobody will reject a student because if he says I don't know. It's more about answering and be honest in their own assessment.
Thank you. Sir, actually, I have interacted with our students through different wings. I have seen since from after COVID situations, maximum 90% of students that are coming from the rural areas, especially in our they are suffering from lack of communication skills and confidence level and leadership quality. Totally is not there. So you said in the interviews, so they don't know how to face interviews. So how to solve, because the communication problem is very big issue here, sir. So before the corona, students they are coming around the other states or other districts, but nowadays only for asking, especially for rural areas, they are suffering a lot for communication skills, and they are not able to face the interviews. They are failing in the interviews, especially. So how to take this issue positively? What are the steps?
Unless it's a formal part of the curriculum where we have communication skills.
We had a subject, professional communication, technical.
No, absolutely.
Different communication leadership, then only the academics.
Sorry, see, one important event ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಚಂದ್ರಪಟ್ಟಣ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. ಚಂದ್ರಪಟ್ಟಣ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ we should encourage students to become member of various clubs. Leo club irutte, math club irutte, Rotary club irutte. There are so many clubs in the college because these clubs will help them to really understand communication better. So one having a regular training in the college, classroom training, explaining them about various communication skills, yav important to explaining them the softer aspects, and maybe like the way Vinay said, ask them to present themselves, like or ask them to teach a subject basically. Or ಬಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But more than that, please encourage them to go out and talk to others. Canteen go ಕೇಳಿ, canteen not just about ಮಾತಾಡಿ. Communication ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it's not only about English.
Yes.
So it's about making other guy understand his point of view, correct? So encourage them to become part of these various clubs. They are phenomenal. In fact, Vinay was in the Leo club. So in fact, we learn a lot in those clubs because you mix with others. So other than the Martin college, so beyond that,
Should be. I wonder if it can be part of the curriculum where you have
mandatorily.
like for example, storyboarding, dramatics.
Sir, actually fact, sir, those are completed last 2 years back. So still they are getting 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 salary, sir. ಸೊ ರೆಪ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಹುಡುಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ 15,000 ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದಿ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್. ನಾವು ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಟೀಚರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರ ಟೀಚರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟೀಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗೋ, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಏನು ವಾಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೋ ಸೊ ವಿ ನೋ ದಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯೂ 10% ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸಮ್ ಜಾಬ್. ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 90% ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್. ಯು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೋ ದಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಬೂಸ್ಟಪ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ದಿ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗಿಂದಲೇ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾವು 90% ಅಥವಾ 9.5 CGPA ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ರಿಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಓರಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 2 minutes. So this is the major problem in ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾಸನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಾರಿ ನಮ್ಮ MCL.
So one of the things,
ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ವಿತಿನ್ ದಿ ವಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಸಫರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ದಿ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್, ನಾನು ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿತಿನ್ ದಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಹುಡುಗರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕಣ್ಣೀರು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಥೆರಾಟಿಕಲಿ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಂದು 15 days ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಹೋದಾಗ 2 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಗೆಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಹುಡುಗರು, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ಥರ ಹರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್ಸಿಂದ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಯಾವ ನಮ್ಮದೇ ಅವನ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಆ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂಥ ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ತರಬೇಕು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ನಿಂದಲೇ.
so for example, the ease of speaking English is the biggest roadblock, right? Because I cannot speak, can communicate very well in English. The natural tendency for me is to put a facade. And that facade always says that I'm like, I don't care. All of that will happen, right? And then you start building a narrative, but then when the actual world happens, the confidence level is so low inside. So, but when I go and ask, I don't know whether it can be part of the curriculum or not. Spoken English could be a great subject.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
No, we are autonomous. So we have much greater autonomy in choosing subjects. For example, if MCE chooses written and spoken English as one of the subjects, we can say.
Yeah, no, that's what VT also, even though autonomy in college also they have introduced the English subject, but that is not happening effectively. That's what they are lacking behind that.
So formally having that as a subject, and I think having the new principal is coming, Amrendra sir, and he's a very grounded guy. When I go and I'm meeting him after so many years, right? I've seen him when met him in few alumni when he was a professor as well. He's a fairly grounded guy. I'm sure he will take this feedback and do whatever what is best for the students. So I think we should introduce this as a curriculum. So as from year one, and later on lead to something called as dramatics. All of that, because that will just help you get the stage fear out. Because even though we address, I personally addressed a crowd of 1,000 plus, but I still shiver whenever I speak. So I think that is naturally there in our body. The natural tendency is to get nervous. However, kind of just practicing this again and again will help us.
See, encourage them to participate in debates, maybe technical debates ಮಾಡಿ classally. So make it into friends.
So work is going on, sir. Students are involved in the curriculum activities, extracurriculum activities.
You can give a job, you will kill all the jobs. Let 4 students speak for and 4 students.
But problem is that we are focusing on 10% of creamy layers.
Yeah. Very.
That is the
formal
actually
curriculum Yoga spoken English. Until that happens, they will not get the content. I think maybe we should do that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else that we
different industries, technical and they use different technologies. So it really campus, they always say that it takes make your students ready for industry. I don't know how it is yet.
See, the campus to corporate connect is not easy. Not only for you, any college, they struggle. See what corporates want. Corporate wants people to be ready to be deployed. I mean, in Nanigarugula College, see, for us, it all depends upon how fast I can make it productive. So, the smaller the gap, the better corporates are, correct? But will you be able to teach everything what happens in a corporate? In fact, the program which we run from Infosys for the students is to make sure that, when they join Infosys, in fact, final year, we get to Infosys, we give them 6 months project, very project. So, encourage more of those things. And probably I can get more companies to come visit here, and we absorb students, that we can do one part. My second part, what is very important is to teach them fundamental. I don't think there is any second thought on it. If they are fundamentally strong, they can do anything. In fact, any subject depth is important. Once you get, that's what Vinay was saying in the morning also. Once you go deeper into subject, it's very easy. You can do the second semester much easily. Fundamentals are to respond to problem. But industry, if you feel it is required, the objectives of ME-RIISE is to bring colleges closer to the corporate. Anything which you believe is required, we'll be more than happy. If some student wants to come and then work in a college or work in an office for some quality, we're more than happy to accommodate them. But you will never be able to make them day one. That is not expected also from corporate. Yeah, only corporates expect it.
And to answer your question, part of it is teaching, a part of it is self-learning. So, for example, if we tell the student that, if we kind of have this as an established kind of practice, saying last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the lecture, right? Everyone speak about it on a turn. Speak about the trends that you're seeing in the industry. Do the research, come back and tell what is the new trend that is happening. If it is mechanical, then what is the new trend that is happening in mechanical engineering or whatever, right? I think that itself will encourage the students to kind of go and really dig a little deeper, do some research, put somebody in the spot more intelligent next week, then challenge them, I'm sure that person will go and study. But 10 minutes of that will make a big difference because now they're thinking about, because it's practically impossible for us to, professors to go and teach everything that the industry needs.
Important point is that US and Germany, academia is accepted. So in fact, research happens in institutions first, then might be the industries adopt. So probably putting more investment into research and development is why we always. I think there are a lot of labs are working on that. So we are like, if we require investments or whatever, we will ask industry to invest. But set up those labs, encourage students to do experiments. We are very happy. Money is also getting new things which students will get, correct? So those are the right ways to do it. The students, as part of making ME, they give us some 10 different proposals. Those are the ones which take them closer to the industry. Rather than, as somebody said, rather than 9.25 CGPA mark, if somebody goes and tells, you know what, I have designed a vibration system because of which I am able to understand for the injection motor much faster than anybody else, that scores more than the 9.25 CGPA. And that way has a better chance of getting into a job. So encourage those things. And encourage interdisciplinary projects. Computer science, mechanical, electrical, form a team. You put a computer, let them come with a new project which is interdisciplinary. That is very important because exceptionally now IT has become industry, but everywhere it's IT now. So IT should be a part of every project. So encourage. So don't make only 4 CS students on their project. Take 1 mechanical, 2 civil, 1 CS. Let them do the project. They have a better chance of getting a lot of industry than
Hello.
I hope I made sense. Did I answer? Debate is always good, correct? In fact, that's true. I think there are a lot of industry experts who are in the part of your academic council. So there are a lot of industry experts. In fact, I am part of the team from last 5 years. So they will department. Oh, mechanic. Oh, you would have been very happy. Vinay, huh? So Vinay is from mechanical. We don't expect you to teach industry. You need to be aware of that and if you feel it is required. For example, in mechanical, so if you want to work in aerodynamics industry, in graduate time, only 1 month, expect to be more than happy for your work. In fact, there's a company called Simtools. Our college or then Umesh Anekere and Simtools, that guy is from our college, mechanical. And he joined the company by building the parts for years. Development and they have a lot of part manufacturing. Last year, he sold 40% of his stake for 50 million. So he was more than happy. In fact, when he put in admission in college. So he said, Royal Mint. Oh!
It runs on highest. 50 rupees a night.
So, more than happy. See, in college, Kumasala Bandini, Yaro, first to KMP Sir Bandido, Dr. KMP, how many of you know? KMP Sir Bandido, I mean, Jayan, regular and then Prabhakar and like companies, very, very few people have come to me and asked, speaking on industry, can you accommodate me? Very few people come and ask. I know you're all busy with your regular curriculum, but if we provide, we can make it mandatory in the college to say every lecturer should spend safety in the industry every 6 months. But you should also be willing. Once the life set up, it's going out of comfort zone. If you get a little out of comfort zone, I'm more than happy. Any industry, doesn't matter. I have connections in civil, mechanical, chemical. Chemically, Kiran is the MD of ME-RIISE. You'll be more than happy. You will take some industry visit. You want to see how a new power plant looks like, how a refinery looks like. If you become closer to industry, automatically teach better. I say, I'm not telling you, you're not teaching good. You will be able to teach probably more about what's happening in the industry. I hope the debate is also
One last question.
Sunil is his classmate. Sunil Rao. So Sunil, our company, he has promised to take 4 people at 18 lakhs starting package. From MC, Nalak Jana. This time, Nalak Jana over put electrical. Any other questions? We are more than happy to come to college. You better phone Madi, Bunny Bangalore, whatever you want. In fact, ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಸಮ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಒಂದು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ. So we will revisit that. We will open one more office. We have an office in Bengaluru. So we are more than happy when the baby is supposed to marry on the dinner. So that with some we take a house for rent and maybe in that house. So let them stay for 3-4 days in Bangalore and then more than happy. Okay. Anything else? Students question ಕೇಳ್ತಾರಾ? Okay, thank you so much.
We will formally end the program. So as Kitty sir was telling from morning, to get Vinay Prabhakar sir talk to the clients, we have to spend thousands of dollars. He is there with us from 12 o'clock. Thank you so much, sir. It was really great having you here with us today, especially both the sessions. And you were also there with us for the automobile workshop. So students are really inspired by you. They want to meet you post the session also. They want to interact with you. Hope you are available. So thanks for all the time that you have given to your alma mater. And I could see the enthusiasm and the happiness that he had as soon as he entered the campus. So ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸು, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ರೂಮು, ಇದು ಹಂಗಿದೆ, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ, what a beautiful campus. I think that was something it came from the bottom of his heart. So it was truly nice to see you, sir. And such a great man coming back to the alma mater, talking to us, interacting with us. He's a very down-to-earth person. That is what we learned from you today. Thank you so much, sir. I request Geeta ma'am to please give a token of gratitude. So, to talk about Krishna Swami sir, he is someone who has supported us right from the inception of ME-RIISE Foundation. He is also the advisor of ME-RIISE Foundation. He has been, he gives us a lot of good suggestions, especially the hiring process of Infosys Pinnacle. He was the one who got it connected to us, and he strives hard even today to see that our students get good opportunities in good reputed companies, and how he can fulfill that gap that exists between the industries and the academia. And he is always there, anything that is being talked about. So thank you so much, sir. I think thanks is also a bit less when we tell. I request Geeta Kiran ma'am to please give a token of gratitude to sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Geeta Kiran ma'am, CEO of ME-RIISE Foundation and Dean Corporate Affairs, for initiating this program and getting a lot of alumni get connected in close with the students, and today the opening ceremony live on campus with our faculty as well. Thank you so much, ma'am. I thank Dr. Nandita Biyar, Dean Academic Affairs, who is one of the coordinator for Bridging Generations Alumni Insights, and who has been supporting us right from the first episode. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also thank all the student members and volunteers of ME-RIISE Foundation who strive hard behind the screens and also during the event to make this event a grand success. Thank you all, and I thank all the fellow faculty members and professors for being here today. Thank you so much.